Time could be ticking for a popular app.
We do not trust TikTok will ever embrace American values
if some members of the House get their way. Climate concerns.
Humanity is on thin ice, and that ice is melting fast.
Getting the attention of the United Nations. Ultra weekend.
Yeah, I've been to Ultra I want to say 4 or 5 times. I don't even know now. I've lost count.
Descends on South Florida. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Leanne Abutarbouche.
I'm Elena Key, and today is Friday, March 24th, 2023.
Live from the FIU Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Time may be running out for the popular social media app TikTok. For months, lawmakers have been sounding the alarm for the potential risk of personal information getting in the hands of the Chinese government.
And as DC Bureau reporter Sofia Zaniga tells us, it led to testimony yesterday on Capitol Hill.
After 5 hours of testimony, TikTok CEO Shou Zhu defended the app's data collection and assured Congress that China does not have access to TikTok user data, but legislators were not convinced. TikTok has been under fire for its Chinese ownership, with legislators raising concerns over user safety. Democratic Senator Mark Warner and Republican Senator John Thune wrote the legislation that could ban TikTok, called the Restrict Act, and their opinions were not changed after Shou's testimony. Republicans and Democrats alike believe the entire app should be banned from the United States. Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers, head of the Energy and Commerce Committee, delivered the opening remarks at the hearing.
We do not trust TikTok will ever embrace American values. TikTok has repeatedly chosen the path for more control, more surveillance, and more manipulation. Your platform should be banned.
Shou said that TikTok collects as much data as any social media platform, but Warner and Thune claimed that TikTok's Chinese ownership is still a threat. Shou also explained that a firewall was implemented 2 years ago that protects user data from unauthorized foreign access.
Our approach has never been to dismiss or trivialize any of these concerns. We have addressed them with real action. The bottom line is this: American data stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel.
There are a few legislators who oppose the Restrict Act, such as New York Democrat Jamal Bowman, who has over 100,000 followers on the app. Bowman believes social media giants should be regulated instead of using TikTok as a scapegoat. The Biden administration is trying to make the company ByteDance sell the app, but the Chinese government have said they would oppose any deal. TikTok users, on the other hand, expressed their frustrations with the hearing, saying that Shou was not given enough time to explain his responses and that legislators are disconnected from technology. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, I'm Sofia Zuniga from Washington, D.C.
Police are on the search for a missing Navy sailor from Palm Beach County. Officers in Chicago have searched in Lake Michigan beaches and lakefront for a 21-year-old Jupiter native and Navy sailor. Seamus Gray hasn't been seen or heard of since Saturday morning after leaving a bar. New video footage from some of the businesses at the marina shows Seamus on the water's edge.
This morning, the suspect of last week's fatal shooting in Miami Beach tells police it was self-defense. Police say a 23-year-old suspect approached the officers and admitted to firing his weapon Friday night. He told police someone pulled a gun on him and he was forced to defend himself. The victim, who suffered multiple gunshot wounds, died from his injuries. The suspect was taken into custody, but no charges have been filed yet.
Hundreds of people took the streets of Tallahassee to join the March for Our Lives protest demanding stricter gun control laws. Protesters rallied against the permitless concealed carry bill, which, if passed, could allow anyone to carry a concealed weapon without permit or training. Governor Ron DeSantis claims he would sign the bill if it passed the Florida Senate. Protesters, some of whom were survivors of the Parkland shooting, are alarmed for what is to come, but are devoted to ending gun violence and spreading awareness on the danger the bill would impose.
A week of work by United Nations panel working on climate change has culminated in a new report. Reporter Rachel Costa from our DC Bureau takes a look at the findings.
The new UN report on climate change is being referred to as a guide on how to defuse a climate time bomb. It warns that by 2030, we'll hit the critical warming threshold. UN Secretary General says we're running out of time.
Humanity is on thin ice, and that ice is melting fast. Humans are responsible for virtually all global heating over the last 200 years. The rate of temperature rise in the last half century is the highest in 2,000 years. concentrations of carbon dioxide are at their highest in at least 2 million years.
The report said temperatures are estimated to rise 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit above pre-industrial times in the next decade. That could also cause a chain of climate disasters, including the acceleration of sea level rising, coastal flooding, heat waves, and stronger hurricanes.
There could be unprecedented significant changes to the humans and also the nature. And we could lose a lot of species. So it might not be a world that we know about.
Developed countries have had most of the impact, and yet developing nations are the one already suffering from climate change and will be ultimately more impacted since they have fewer resources to deal with the consequences.
Developing world countries where they grow most of their own food, a lot of those are in areas that are pretty water stressed already. And just a little bit of change in rainfall could lead to mass famine in places where there's not enough resources to buy food from elsewhere.
The report highlights that while we have reached a critical time for climate change, it is still possible to hold global warming to safe levels. But nations will need to immediately transition away from fossil fuels. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, I'm Rachel Costa from Washington, D.C.
New data this morning shows that house prices are declining for the first time in more than a decade. The network's Alexa Velez has tips from an expert on how first-time home buyers can take advantage.
Good news for first-time home buyers. House prices just saw their first monthly year-over-year drop since 2012, marking the end of a decade-long streak.
A lot of home buyers or prospective home buyers all across the country are really going to welcome this good news.
According to a new report from the National Association of Realtors, the median price of a U.S. home in February was $363,000. That's down 0.2% from the same month last year. Experts say the decline may be small, but it marks a turning point for the industry.
That's a welcome sign that perhaps all of the peak in the pricing, it's starting to bottom out a little bit.
The report coming in spring, the peak buying season, when buyers who have been sidelined by demand and soaring prices are motivated to make deals quickly. So what can you do if you're finally ready to buy?
Money coach Lynette Calfani-Cox has these 3 tips. 1, line up the cash. Figure out which loan you qualify for, either a conventional mortgage or a government-insured loan like an FHA, and then calculate your down payment.
You can put down as little as 3 or 3.5% and still get in the home of your dreams. And that's good news to people who don't have, a hefty amount of savings.
Number 2, get your financial paperwork in order. Gather your tax returns, W-2s, and bank statements. And 3, work on your credit score. It impacts the interest rate on your home loan. Check your credit report for any errors and pay off existing debt to boost your score.
That's a great opportunity for you to look really good on paper to a lender.
Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, I'm Alexa Velez.
Happiness is something everyone deserves, but sometimes people need a little push in order to find it. The network's Samantha Gutierrez reports from the 2023 Happiness Fest at the BBC campus on FIU.
We're starting today the right way with big smiles as the second day of World Happiness Fest rolls into FIU's Wolf Center here at the Biscayne Bay campus.
We were able to create the World Happiness Day 11 years ago. And since then, we've been celebrating happiness for everybody.
During this 3-day convention, everyone will collaborate, build connections, and new narratives, accompanied by life coaches.
I will help participants with rounds, and after they hear the speakers, I will conclude the day with my students and participants, making sure we talk about how we feel, what we took from the event, and creating a safe space so that everyone leaves very happy.
Not only for your health, because your physiological functions are increased with the vibration, the high frequency of happiness, but also promotes clarity of mind and attainment of your goals, strong willpower. So all of it's interdisciplinary, and happiness is an integral part of human life and human personality.
Remember, it's still the second day of the event, so you can still attend today or tomorrow and visit www.happinessfest.worlds for more information. For South Florida Media Network, I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
A South Florida team is trying to make it to the Elite 8 on the back of a big second half comeback.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
I'm going today, or this time alone, but it's also good because you connect to other people and try to learn English and speak English with others, and I think it will be great.
South Floridians better be ready for a non-stop party this weekend as the Ultra Music Festival brings big names and bigger music. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
Miami's about to get ultra loud with the biggest dance music festival returning to Bayfront Park. Today is the first day of the Ultra Music Festival in downtown Miami.
The network's Alfredo Vangueas has your early access pass.
Miami has become the dance music capital of the world this week as hundreds of thousands of people descend onto South Florida for Miami Music Week. The week-long party culminates this weekend right behind me as Ultra Music Festival returns to Bayfront Park.
After a 3-year COVID hiatus, Ultra Miami made its long-awaited return to Bayfront Park last year, and to build off of the success of 2022, Ultra is going bigger this year, both in terms of names and production. Ultra 2023 will see the return of Swedish House Mafia to Miami, as well as some of the biggest names in dance music such as Zedd, Martin Garrix, KX5, Hardwell, and Subtronics.
Yeah, I've been to Ultra I want to say 4 or 5 times. I don't even know now. I've lost count. And I'm not expecting anything different. Just it's the same thing every year, and there's nothing else like it. So that's why I keep coming. I'm excited to see Adam Bayer and Cerez D. What's this person's name? Luigi Madonna and Robert Capuano and Test Pilot. Yeah. So I'm going today, or this time alone, but it's also good because you connect to other people and try to learn English and speak English with others, and I think it will be great. I'm here for the music and not for social media taking pictures, because I'm only for the music, and yeah, I hope we will have a good time. From 2016 till last year, every year, except the COVID years, I watched the stream. And in Germany it's in the night time, so every weekend I was at the night awake and in the day sleeping, so I'm happy that I have the opportunity this year to see it in the daytime, and I don't have to be the night awake because I'm real here.
This is as stacked a lineup as Ultra has ever had, so fans are sure to expect the biggest edition of the festival to date. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, I'm Alfredo Venegas.
Last night, the FAU Owls made school history, clinching their program's first ever appearance in the Elite Eight. The Owls tournament run has been full of nail-biters, and last night was no different. Entering last night as the clear underdogs against the number 4 ranked Volunteers. They seemed outmatched in the first half, but a 15-2 run in the second, led by a tournament standout, Jonal Davis, propelled propelled them to victory. The final score was Owls 62, Volunteers 55. The Owls will play their Elite 8 game on Saturday against Kansas State at 6 p.m.
The Florida Panthers are looking to retake the final spot of the playoff pictures after a hard loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs here at home. Going into the game, the Florida Panthers were looking to create some cushion in the wild card slot to break away from competing teams, but the Maple Leafs had other plans as they ripped the Panthers apart. For the Panthers to get back into the playoffs, they need to win more games than Pittsburgh Penguins, who are just a point ahead of the Cats. The final score was Leafs 6, Panthers 2. The Panthers will be expecting the New York Rangers tomorrow at 5 p.m.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Leon Abutor-Bush.
I'm Elena Key. Get more news anytime at smn.fiu.edu.